Hey everybody, so moving along here with our season previews. It's time to do the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings made the playoffs last year but lost to Vegas in the first round. They got swept in the first round. Goal scoring was obviously a big issue for them last year. It probably will be again this year. Overall, I think they have a pretty good team, but in the Pacific Division, which isn't overly strong at this point, I think they have a good shot to be a playoff team, but we'll have to wait and see how the season plays out. Let's take a look at their lineup here, according to Roster Resource, and see what they got. Their top line, Iafallo, Kopitar, and Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk is obviously their big off-season move, bringing him in. He's returning to the NHL for the first time since 2013, since playing the last few years in the KHL over in Russia. I think a good chunk of their success is going to be dependent on what Kovalchuk does. If Kovalchuk is not good anymore, if he comes over and he looks old and slow and doesn't play like Ilya Kovalchuk should, offense is going to be a big issue for them again, and that's going to be a big blow. If Kovalchuk comes over and he's still a 30-goal scorer, and he is, the Ilya Kovalchuk that we all remember from his first stint in the NHL, then the Kings could easily maybe even win their division. They could be a legitimate Stanley Cup contender if he's that good. So Kovalchuk's going to play a major role on this team for good or for bad. Second line, Pearson, Carter, and Brown. That knocks Brown down to the second line, which is much more where he belongs. He is not a first liner. As much as I like Dustin Brown, he is not a first liner. Carter, we'll see if he can stay healthy. This team's in good shape if he stays healthy. If he doesn't stay healthy, that's going to be an issue. Third line, Roster Resource has Kyle Clifford on the third line with Kempe and Toffoli, but I love Kyle Clifford, but he is a fourth liner. He's a fighter, he's a grinder, he is a fourth liner. So I would say Brodzinski is probably going to play on that third line with Kempe and Toffoli, and then Clifford will be on the fourth line with Thompson and Lewis, and that's a pretty good fourth line there. Veteran guys, good depth players. Clifford's obviously your toughness. Thompson can bring some toughness too when needed. So, pretty decent forward group. On defense, you have Jake Muzzin and Drew Doughty as your top pair. Fantenberg and Martinez is your second pair, and then Phaneuf and Forbort is your third pair. Like them a lot as a third pair. That's a high-level third pair in the NHL. In goal, you have Jonathan Quick and then Jack Campbell backing him up this year. Amadio is your extra forward. Michael Amadio, and then Paul Ledoux and Curtis McDermott are your two extra defensemen. Ledoux can come in and be a good replacement for someone who's out injured. He's just a pretty solid guy. Will give you more offense than McDermott, but McDermott, it comes in when you need toughness in the lineup. Whether you're playing a really tough team or a team that you're having physical games with. McDermott is a big-time fighter, very physical guy, throws the body around whenever he can, and I'm sure he's going to play some games this year, and when he does, he's going to be a wrecking ball. So I'm excited. Hopefully McDermott cracks the lineup for at least a little bit this year. Once, sure they're going to lose some guys to injuries at some point. I'd love to see McDermott in the lineup. He played a decent number of games last year and was one of the more physical players in the league. So overall, offensively, offense is obviously this team's big problem. They barely scored in the playoffs last year, which is why they got swept. They really didn't score that much in the regular season. Defensively, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. I think they had the fewest goals against in the entire league last year. They're fine in net, goaltending. Jonathan Quick, as long as he's healthy, he's going to lead the way, and there's no issues with him. He is one of the premier goaltenders in the NHL. Jack Campbell, I think, will be fine as a backup. If Quick gets hurt, which has been an issue in the past, I don't know that I would trust Campbell to step in and start for a long period of time. So that might be an issue if an injury happens, but let's not bank on an injury happening. Let's say Quick stays healthy, then Jack Campbell's more than adequate as the backup there. On defense, their defense I think is pretty solid. Doughty is obviously the superstar. Now, this isn't a Nashville level defense where they have like 4 superstars, or this isn't a Tampa Bay level defense, but this is a pretty good defense. Doughty is far and away your best player. Then Muzzin's good next to him. Fantenberg and Martinez as your second pair is fine. And then, these two, your second pair and your third pair could almost be switched. Phaneuf and Forbort together are really good. I'm really high on Derek Forbort if he can stay healthy. Phaneuf on the downside of his career at this point, but in this role, he's more than adequate. And then Fantenberg is a pretty good young player. Martinez has been around for a long time at this point, solid veteran. So defensively, I'm not worried about this team. I'm not worried about their goaltending. I think they're going to be fine at keeping the puck out of their net. Their problem is going to be, can they score goals? This was an issue last year, especially in the playoffs. And like I said earlier in the video, I think it's largely dependent on Ilya Kovalchuk. If Kovalchuk comes in and is a 30-goal scorer like he used to be, then this team should be fine. But if Kovalchuk comes in and scores 15 goals and 30-something points, this team's in trouble. And they're going to have the same issues that they did last year, because Dustin Brown is not a top-line player. He might get to 20-25 goals, but that's at best, and he belongs as a second, third liner. Pearson and Toffoli proved last year that they can't cut it when they need to be the main goal scorers of a team. They're good secondary scoring guys, but they cannot be the main goal scorers for a team. Carter and Kopitar are more of assist guys playing center than goal scorers, so they need wingers that can score, and they need to play with wingers that can score. Iafallo, I think it's going to be interesting to see his development and what he does this year. If you only get 19, 20 goals out of him, I think you want him to be up near 25 plus, especially playing with Kopitar and having Kovalchuk on the other side. So my big question with this team really is goal scoring, and that's my only question. I have no problem with their defense. They have an elite goaltender. Can they score goals? And how well they score goals is going to determine how far they go this season. If they can't score goals, they are a borderline playoff team, and if they do make the playoffs, will be out in the first round again. If they can score goals, they are a potential division winner and a Stanley Cup threat. So that's the big question with this team, is how much can they score. So that's what I've got on LA. I think it's all going to come down to goal scoring for them, because they're going to keep the puck out of their net. Between their defense and goaltending, they're not going to give that much up. It's, can they score enough goals to win in the NHL? So that's what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys soon.